It's Thursday. It's Thursday night. Instagram Live. Thank y'all for having me. My name is Tate, if you don't know. And this is the Tate Show. Tonight we are talking about many things in the world. I am going to struggle somewhat. But we're going to give everybody a chance to run and get that popcorn and get themselves together. So let's be very, very clear about something. In this and in every episode of the Tate Show, I don't want you coming here thinking this is going to be a regular, degular podcast. I don't want friends and family members to question me about the podcast. I am a whole separate entity when I get on this microphone and in front of this camera. That has nothing to do with being real life, maybe. I don't want anyone to be under the impression, nails by Tara. Tara, I need my nails done right now. I don't want anyone to be under the impression that whatever I am saying is supposed to make sense. I am from a different planet. I am not an earthling. I think different, move different, and I have a spiritual consciousness that guides me and takes me in places that the average person cannot comprehend or handle. So let's get that clear. That's what I call the print. Now, what I would like you to do while people are coming on is I would like you to I'm sure Pam Power is not trying to come on live. I'm getting a request. Let's see. So, I want you to go to your browser, not your phone while you're watching this, and I want you to find out, is there such a thing called fertilefarm.com? Bear with me. So I was thinking, like I do all day nonstop, I wish it could shut off, but it won't. And I was thinking about how much sperm a man produces a day. And then I was thinking about if you took all the females, imagine a 70,000 person concert. Now I want you to imagine those 70,000 people that all the women left the building. Now I want you to think about whether heterosexual or not, just biologically. I want you to think about a concert hall or arena filled with testosterone, right? There will be, I don't know what comes after trillion, but I'll make up the word gazillion. Sperm cells floating around, live, ready to go. Right? Now, I would like you to think about how many parents, how many sperm banks that men go into a building and they ejaculate into a cup. And they are rewarded with dollars. And they don't know if it goes to science. We don't know if there's a whole nation somewhere being built underground in the Grand Canyon. We don't know where the sperm goes, right? But follow me. Bear with me. I got a place I'm going with this, right? Then I want you to think about the millions, especially in Japan and China, not China, but in Japan and other Asian countries. Millions of women who are saying, I want a child. Motherhood is difficult. Going the full term of pregnancy is difficult. Finding the right mate is difficult. Is it unfair to suggest that we create a social media network where we connect viable mothers, viable donors of eggs and of children, because there's a whole bunch of children being raised in communities. Now, America is predominantly white. So in many of those very poor white communities, poor black communities, Latin communities, there are women who should not have 5, 6, 7 children. But if they knew that upon delivery, there was someone who would gladly take care of their child with a major signing bonus and post pictures of that child, that they have the password to access the growth and development of their child, but they lose all parental rights. Would this balance out family dynamics, empty out foster homes or adoption centers or homes where children have no parents? Because they'd be like, I need a kid, send them over here. I need a kid. And we just make sure they're not pedophiles. We make sure they're not predators. We make sure that they have the ability to pass the screening. All through the website, fertilefarm.com. I don't know if it exists already. I'm just thinking in my mind how we bridge the gap. So we have given everyone enough time to get in the show. The people who are not serious scrollers have moved on, because attention span, you got 3 seconds to grab people. And if you don't grab them in those 3 seconds, they're not staying. Hence the reason why I don't have 1,000 people on the show, but I know 1,000 people don't want to learn, elevate, grow, or be better. So this is not for them. So let me begin. I decided that I wanted to discuss and talk about what was going on in the world, because people don't have a narrative. People don't look deeper. People are not woke. People like to be the sheeple. They like to be sheep who are led by the media. So we had some things that went on in the world that everybody has given Trump this rap. And I am not pro-Trump or anti-Trump. If you read this book right here, it's called We the Blacks. It clearly explained that the left wing and the right wing belong to the same political bird who has been shitting on my head my entire life. I don't expect anything to come out of bureaucracy. If you really got to break up your ass, a thorn in your skin, or a splinter in your brain about politics, then I suggest that you start protesting more. Yep, got to get out in the streets, protest more. You got to be very serious about change in politics. You have to understand that there cannot be any lobbying anymore. For little boys and girls who don't know what lobbying is when you have lobbyists. You have people in D.C. who big corporations. Let's say I got $100 billion last year from poisoning you with zigzagoline, and I put zigzagoline on your potato chips. I put zigzagoline in your soda. I put zigzagoline in your tampons. I put zigzagoline everywhere. And zigzagoline is known to cancer and to help the population be reduced, right? And I got this big company named Craze Potato Chips, and I serve you this zigzagoline or McDonald's, and you go there and you get your dollar meals, and you're dying, right? Slowly. But I lobby someone, which means I go, hey, psst, hey, come here, boy. You in that D.C. area, Reno. You in Washington, D.C., ain't you? Yeah, you around them politicians, ain't you? Well, here's $100 million. Find something to do with this, because we need twice as much zigzagoline to go through next year. And here's our legal team, and we're going to show you how we can do this legally, because the difference between an opportunist and a criminal is an opportunist find ways to make money that is right in front of them, readily available, and fast. Not thinking about the law. A criminal, my man Donnie, a criminal looks at the laws and says, they do not have a law for this. We can get by this with a slap on our wrist. and they look at the legal ramifications of the move they're going to make and make sure that they are either protected by the law, there is no law, or the consequences of the law will be minor at anyone and everyone's expense. That's a true criminal. So when you look at these lobbyists, they run politics in America. When you look at these Congress people, you need to put terms on them. Why are you in office 18 years and you getting stock tips and you come in with a salary, but when you leave, you worth 18, 25, 40 million dollars as a congressperson. You've been there, you in your 80s and you still there. And then you have these local politicians, some of them don't have terms. They just sit there like a fiefdom and just keep getting reelected and reelected and reelected. My entire life you've been a Bronx borough president? What? How? You're not doing nothing. The same conditions we was talking about 20 years ago, got the same conditions today. Why are you still in office? So when you look at Trump, let's be very clear. If you're confused, I was talking about this in 2017, almost 10 years ago. Trump is interested in a money grab. Most of the presidents are in office. They're already appointed. They know they're going to win the elections because we are stupid when we have electoral colleges. We don't know how to count up and tally votes. So most presidents are selected by the handful of people that run the world. Ooh, Zach is a conspiracy theorist. It's impossible, Zach, that the handful of billionaire Zionists from ages ago who spent their entire lives building legacies within their families to control and dominate the masses with their millions, billions, and trillions of dollars. That's impossible, Zach. It's impossible that they control the politics, the school system, the food pipeline, the water, the agriculture, the urban environment. Oh, that's impossible. You forget that the way the world was founded in America was a small amount of people came to this land, met a bunch of dog people like me, and eventually said, we can have it all if we just kill them all. Let's hand out blankets. Let's feed them alcohol. Let's shoot them down. Let's give rewards for how many scalps we get, how many flocks of hair you bring, how many skulls you bring. We will make you rich. Go kill some Indians. And the poor guy was looking at his wife starving and digging in the cold ground said, sorry, brother, killing you is going to change my life. And it goes from there all the way to the crack epidemic today. I'm going to kill you to get rich, and these people are going to profit from it all. So now Trump, who was raised, imagine that. Imagine a life where you were born knowing, I never got to worry about money. I never got to hear no. I can sit down and say, I'm coming up with this great idea, and it lands right in front of me. Imagine a life like that. You grew up entitled like that. Then you get into politics. You get around all the hip hoppers and all the fashion moguls and all the in crowd, and people embrace you and they love you. And then you get to have all your sexual fantasies. Because here's the thing about the Epstein files. The common human being does not realize that you can buy people. People are for sale. Whatever you go to work, 40 hours. For you to go to work 40 hours, you probably put 60 hours. Getting dressed, getting ready, all that. Your commute, about 60 hours of your week into your job. If you make 100,000, you in a small percentage, and 100,000 is a lot of money to these people. So they offer you a lifestyle where you don't have to work and you still keep the same lifestyle. However, you got to compromise your mind and your body, your spirit and your soul for these people. Kind of like the way you do FedEx, UPS, or Amazon. And you hush your mouth and you humble yourself. But instead of you being an adult, you're a teenager. We'll give you whatever you like. They're just going to have sex with you. Because they're so bored that all they're concerned about is their hedonistic activities. They got everything. They don't got to get up. Imagine you're 60 hours removed and comes back to you. What you going to do with all that time? Your connections make you more money. You make money while you sleep. You don't even know how you made an extra $2 million, but you ain't golfing with this guy in some part of the world that the rest of us can't see. And they gave you this tips, and they told you this move, or they told you how we're going to put $6 billion together and we're going to buy up this crypto, run it off, sell it off, and this is how we're going to run away with extra $4 billion. What do you do with all that time? You seek your desires. You squash your fears. You tell yourself you are a king. Imagine that. And you're upset with this psycho in office. You didn't understand the dynamics of how he was made. So here he is sitting on his throne because he buys his wife. His children are extremely privileged. The Trump name, he has done his job. As a father, I want to raise you to do better than me, and when I die, make sure that you're good. He did that. His daddy did that too, at the expense of burning down New York City. So Trump goes in for a power play. He figures out how to keep us distracted. But here's the greatness of Trump. Every fascist, dictator, every ruler, every bad guy in history has some greatness to him. Let me give you an example. Adolf Hitler, one of the worst people that people will say ever lived. His greatness was the first 2 laws Hitler implemented when he came in. A lot of people don't know this. He came in and he said, it is illegal to be immoral. There will be no homosexuality. There will be no homosexual dens. There will be no prostitution. There will be none of that. The consequence will be death. Because the impact that it's having on the fiber of our nation is that our children will grow up with immoralities. So number 1. Number 2 is no interest. We cannot progress when only a handful of people gain all the wealth. We need the wealth distributed so when we loan people, we all uprise together. You don't have to pay an extra 100% on your mortgage. You have a $200,000 house. By the time you're done paying the interest, you done paid $500,000. Hitler said no. And when he got the pushback and he got his generals around him, that's when it went awry. Shit got crazy. But my point is, Trump goes in, he says, I'm going to keep you distracted. I understand how you like distraction. I know how you like entertainment because I used to be on TV. And he comes in and he says, this sounds good. Let's go with it. But because he lacks knowledge, because he is in fact a buffoon, because he lacks higher intelligence, diplomacy, class, charisma, he puts it right out in front of us. He doesn't even know how to help himself. Puts it right in front of you and says, I'm inept. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I made some extra money by being in this seat. And he looks at a place like Venezuela and he says, man, based on the oil reserves, in case you don't know the importance of oil, when you hear oil, don't think about just your car and your gas. Think about plastic, think about bottles, think about transportation, think about plane, train, automobiles, think about your sneakers, think about everything. That petroleum is in it, involved, or helps it get to point A and point B. And he says, oh, I can literally rob Venezuela of everything. Because the biggest customer of Venezuela is China, and China got us beat in everything. And why does China have us beat? Because historically America rewards people that they bomb and killed except for blacks. And China said, we got all these billions of people. We need to put them to work. What y'all need over there? What you need? Oh, we'll make that for pennies on the dollar. And we had these foreign trade agreements, and we patched up with them by giving them trillions of dollars of business. And now 30 years later, they dominating. And in fear of them taking over, because it's always greed, Trump said, nah, I know how to play chess with this. I'm going to make the move that Biden wouldn't make, Obama wouldn't make. I'm just going to take what I want from Venezuela. And in isolating Venezuela, Iran goes, damn, leverage. Iran sits back and say, we got oil like water, but the way it was set up, we could set our prices at what we want because China is dependent on Venezuela. Now America has Venezuela. They're going to feed the propaganda that all our prices are going to go down. Because since we have the reserves, we can make more stuff for cheaper, and we can leverage, and we're going to see more in our pockets. That's a lie, but they're going to feed us that. They're going to drop gas prices to make you think everything else is cheaper. Trump is the greatest. Propaganda. They play with your feelings because you're not informed. So now he goes and he says to the rest of the world, Africa is a continent. A continent. It's not just one country. He says, guess who's the boogeyman? I can do what I want to do. If I took Venezuela, what you gonna do when I come for you? And they go, wow, we can't unite? We can't create our own currency amongst the countries? Oh my God, we have to back up. Iran says we have to back up. China goes, damn, he got us again. Guess sneakers is gonna be $300 now. And then he looks and he says, where can white people go populate as white people and create a utopia? It's like the greatest gated community in the world to the exclusive rich with all climates that pleases everyone. Eat the greatest foods without all the zigzagging. I know, Greenland will drop a nuclear weapon in the ground. Russia will know. Russia, Alaska right here. Russia will know. Not only do we got you on the Alaskan side, we got you on the Greenland side. We got some more leverage. Because what can Greenland do? The same thing President Maduro did. Come and get me! Come and get me if you want me. I am here waiting for you. You're not going to like what you get when I see you. Freeze, hands up. Okay, they surrender. Come on, wife, come out the closet. They got us. The whole country's theirs now. And then he tells you, we're going to occupy this space until we deem it is civil, which means we're going to see who in Maduro's faction we got to clean up and kill and get rid of. We're going to remove all opposition, and we're going to put somebody in place that knows their place. And they're going to play ball by Americans. So Americans, you're in an uproar about this. I want you to know that you really don't have a problem with oppression because you ain't out in the streets doing anything about it. What you have a problem with is being oppressed. That's what capitalism is. So you with your nice little car and your nice sneakers and your nice lifestyle and your life quietness, you don't have bombs blowing over your ceiling every day. You know what food you want. You have the ability to go spend $300-$400 on a meal tonight if you want. You Americans who complain about the government, understand that you fuel the oppression. I own too many pairs of Nikes. I know somewhere is a 6-7-year-old kid putting these sneakers together. Do I really care? Am I going to stop my life? Am I going to stop being concerned about my sons and daughter? Am I going to stop concerned about little Tate getting gunned down in the neighborhood with paramilitary weapons to say, I am going to shut these factories down? No, I don't care. And you don't care either. And if we're just honest with each other about what we really care about, what we really care about, we really don't care about racism, because the most cracker of crackers of races, when I see them on resorts, they are toast, buddy. They eat buddy toast. When you're on a cruise, everybody get along. So nobody really cares about race unless we get riled up. We care about love. We care about peace. We care about happiness. And we care about having a piece of the world that is our own, and we want to be left the fuck alone when we buy it. That's what we really care about. So when you're in an uproar, I can't believe they're doing this. Which brings me down to ICE. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, I don't even know if it was Minnesota. Somebody put it in the comments where it was. In Minneapolis, white woman in her car with her wife is told what to do by an ICE agent. Hey, Ma, this white woman in her car, why do I identify her as a white woman? I'm going to get to it. Give me a moment. In her car, is looking at these ICE agents like, I'm telling you her mindset because I'm psychic. She's saying, you can't be serious. I'm an American citizen. Whatever you're talking about doesn't apply to me. Whatever you're dealing with doesn't apply to me. Whatever issue you have that you are governing, that my tax dollars pay you for, I am excluded from that. So I don't have to listen to you because the business you are carrying here is none of my business. But this ICE agent, these individuals who believe a badge gives them authority until they're getting buried in the ground, says, do what I tell you to do and pulls a gun. Now I'm going to say it once, I'm going to say it 1,000,000 times. Dear law enforcement officers, when you pull a gun, understand other people got guns too. You should never pull a gun unless you see someone else. That's what training is for. That's why we spend billions of dollars on your training. You do not pull your weapon unless you see another weapon being used aggressively. Just because I got a gun in my hand doesn't give you right to shoot me. When I lift it, like y'all do with all these white kids that lift guns and aim it, y'all beg them to put them down before you shoot them. Just because it's in my hand isn't right to kill. But in this situation, it was a vehicle. And it was a body cam. And they killed the woman, shot her in her face, closed casket. Weeks before that, it was allegedly reported that the officer was dragged down the block in an attempt to apprehend someone. So he was holding on to anger, bitterness, resentment, and maybe some trauma or PTSD that was fueled by someone minimizing or exposing that he had no authority, and he pulled the trigger. He took away a wife, took away a sister, took away a godmother, took away. Her death impacted millions of people. So one of my loved ones says to me, she says, how do you feel about this? And I tell her every day, baby, I've been seeing it my whole life, but it didn't make the news. So we blame Trump. Here's the flip side of ICE, ladies and gentlemen. In the 70s, it was wars that the backlash of the Vietnam War was employing people. In the 80s and part of the 90s, there was a war on drugs. When you hear your government use these terminologies, what they're saying is, we're going to spend billions of dollars to give people's thousands of jobs to go do something that makes it appear that they are creating a change. We are implementing an agency to reduce your fears because we have to keep you in fear. So when we say a war on drugs, right? You're looking at ICE. For my generation, it was Red Dogs in Atlanta. It was the Crash Squads in Compton and the West Coast. It was TNT in New York and the East Coast. The same thing ICE does. Masked up, fessed up, paramilitary weapons, tanks in the neighborhood, breaking down people's doors. We got to tip everybody on the floor. Oh, sorry, wrong apartment. Meanwhile, you shot 2 people in the head. One of them was holding their baby in their hand. It was TNT that was running around, masked up, massacring, killing, pillaging, robbing, doing everything under the guise of a government agency. And there were people who were dumb enough and wealthy enough to say, it doesn't impact me. Good job, guys. You're cleaning the place up. Yes, send the National Guard into the ghettos of America. The money that was spent on these agencies, if they were given to governors with sanctions saying we need to see urban improvement and investing in education in these impoverished neighborhoods, we will give you more based on the performance of these test scores of these kids, or we will pull it away from you based on your lack of responsible spending. Instead of saying we're going to build these prisons and spend $100,000 per prisoner to be incarcerated, we're going to use that money to educate or send them to the military or have a transitional program. I got 18 different transitional programs in my head and on paper. If somebody bring me the money, I will change your community from violent to thriving. It's going to run you $1 billion or so, but they're not concerned about that change. But let's say we could hypothesize, we could hope. If they were really interested, this is your wake-up call, America. If they were really interested in change, don't you think you would have seen change? The objective of America, I've said this 1,000,000 times, I'm going to say it again, is you come here, you incorporate yourself as a business. You take advantage of every tax, rule, law that's possible for your car, your clothes, your house, your freedom, your shelter, your food. You take advantage of that through that company. You make your money here. You, your family, your kids, stop pushing them out the house at 18 years old. All of y'all, we all need to live under one roof. This is how much we going to save every month. This is how much we putting in a pot. You put 1,000, you put 1,000, you put 1,000, you put 1,000. And at the end of the month, we're going to have $10,000 a month. At the end of the year, we're going to have $120,000 to start becoming landlords or investing in our family food business, clothing business, shelter business, entertainment business. Why more black people don't own liquor stores, I do not know. I want to go on a campaign and just open a whole bunch of liquor stores. I can't because of my record, but the rest of you guys, because people like to drink their alcohol. So now, you pull together as a family and you find a place in the country. You find a place in the world where land is cheap and you buy acres and acres and acres and you build communities that will pay you rent to finance the lifestyle of your children and your children to come. And then you do the same thing internationally overseas. I was looking at a movie called J. Kelly. Oh, I love this movie because I'm a filmmaker. And they were in Tuscany. And I was saying to myself, man, if I had a good $3 million, I would just buy a plot of land, a great villa in Tuscany, and have my own slice of heaven. Fresh food, fresh air, beautiful views, and don't nobody want to come over because Negroes ain't coming to Tuscany. I just got peace. That's what you do. You generate wealth for generational wealth, find your peace, and go buy it. I suggest we start investing in Haiti. That's a whole nother story, another time. So we look at these government agencies who do not respect citizens, who do not own corporations, who have no political clout. Because once you start making a couple of million, we go back to what I was talking about in the beginning of this broadcast, is that you can buy a person. People are for sale. They go to work every day for $40,000, $50,000 a day, a year. So when you got a few million to the side to buy politicians, to buy law enforcement, to pay and spend money and donating to their libraries and their organizations, or just giving them cash and saying, I own this town, I run this town, here's your new squad car, I need you to police this because I bought the squad car. I'm on the city board. This is what you use your money for. And when you don't do that, you don't count. And I know you're mad that you didn't get the right education. I'm in there too. I'm 56 years old. I want to do over now. Please, either do over or Lord, help me hit the Powerball this weekend so I could just live it out to the max till it's over. So, what is our future? You have heard the problem. What is the solution? If you're over 50 years old, you need to hurry up right now and write out your 5 major goals that gives you heaven on earth. And you need to start exercising it. You need to break your barriers. You need to break your stigmas. You need to put some pride to the side. You need to put away all of your commitments to people, especially the parasitical, selfish ass, taking children who don't give back. You need to cut off those ties and start living this life for yourself. Start visiting some places you wanted to visit. Whatever turns you on and makes your life great. If you got to smear butter all over your body and act like a biscuit and that makes life great for you, go for it. Whatever works for you, you need to write down 3 to 5 things and say, these are my 3 to 5 priorities. What I've been thinking my whole life has not been working. You know, I want all of y'all to go get 3 and 4 wives and stuff like that. But that's beside the point. Go find what makes you happiest of the happiest, happy. And that's it. You dedicated to that and nothing else. I'm moving on. Next. Skit producer, content creator Drewski does a skit. So for my older crowd, content creator means someone who does outlandish things, records it, and posts it on social media, gets 100,000 comments, or bottom line, every time he posts, he knows he's getting $100,000 or more in his pocket. It is his job. It is career. He makes multi-millions of dollars trying to be a comedian or social commentary through jokes. And what Drewski did was he did a spoof of the black church where he was flying through the air in church, like we know on record 3 pastors who has done this. They're flying in the air, hooked up and rigged up like they do in a concert. And they're talking about the powers of the Lord. And they're wearing designer clothes. And their Rolls Royce and their Bentleys is parked in the parking lot. And Drewski was dressed in Dior and dressed in Louboutin shoes. And when they asked him why he wear red bottoms, he said, because I am stomping in the blood of Jesus. Right? He exposed these black criminal sanctuaries. He exposed how he said, no one in the building is leaving until I get $5,000 from everybody each, because we got a fund for Zimbabwe. And this is what these pastors do. Zach, what do you suggest we do with the black church? The black church, I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times. If the black church does not have a senior center where their members get to live for free, if it doesn't have a daycare center where their congregation can go to work, drop off their kids. I'm going to say this again. If your black church does not have a senior center where the people from the congregation, when they get old, they have the ability to go there for free or at a very reduced rate. If your black mega churches I'm talking about, don't have a daycare center where their congregation can drop their children off to be schooled while they are going to work 24 hour care for the children. If your black mega church don't offer that, if your black mega church don't have a fund to build a gymnasium after school program, and your pastor's car is worth over $100,000 and your pastor don't have a job, every congregant should light a candle and drop it on the floor. Because that place is not a place of Jesus. That place is a place where Satan is running around and feeling greed. Now, I'm not going to get into the homosexuals all throughout the church. It's against the word. I don't have a problem where you have sex. I got other things to do. I don't care who want to love who. I got other things to do. I don't care where you stick your dick. As long as it ain't in me, we okay. So, when I say homosexuals, I'm talking about what the word says. If your church is not doing all those things, if your synagogue is not doing all those things, if your mosque, if your mosque is not doing all those things, if there any place that you throw all of your money, your tithes, your hard-earned money is going to, and they not there for you, you need to remove yourself from that institution. So the whole black community got their fucking panties in a bunch because Drew C is making a mockery of the church. No, he's exposing you. Drewski is exposing what is going on in the church. It is just a club for adults who dance to gospel music, who shake to gospel. Oh, I shouldn't have did that. Shake to gospel music. Who play dress up like they going to the club to gospel music. Who show off like they in the club, the fake hair, the fake everything else, like to gospel music. And then, at the end of the day, they get a motivational speech that get them from Monday to Friday. Boy, if I ain't had no integrity, I had the biggest church in America. But, in the name of Jesus, God corrects me. So I have to listen to the voice of my ancestors. So, Drewski exposed the church. Your panties in a bunch. He held the mirror to your face. Hopefully you will stop supporting this buffoonery, but you won't, because you have given up on this life so much. And my advice is to find 3 to 5 things where you can find your heaven on earth without judgment. Whether it be sexual, recreational, vocational, you quit your job tomorrow, whatever it is that you say, this gives me heaven on earth. If you're over 50, I suggest you do that. If you're in your 20s, I suggest you just start pouring yourself. Find a street corner, clean that shit up, and start selling something legal that people need, that you are solving a problem. I know a brother named Akbar. Akbar make about $250,000. Came out of prison. He's right there on 135th Street on Lenox Avenue. Got about 5 tables now. He sells people what they need. He makes way more money than me because he don't have no shame, no pride, and all those other things. He getting to the money. He figured it out. And I suggest we go back to doing that. So, what is the future of our country? Crazy Tate Show. I'm getting tired. There's 2 people on. I need to go to sleep, take my medication, and call it a night. I am very wounded and ill right now. I am not ill. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I am very wounded right now. So I need to go heal. Verizon had an outage. I think it was a test to show you that you are dependent on all the wrong things. How did it feel to be disconnected? Oh my God. Imagine that. You had to be disconnected for some time. Scary, scary, scary. Isn't it funny how people could just cut off your life because you're so dependent? This is your wake-up call. I am Great Zach Tate. Please feel free to put in the comments. Also, as a public request, the Great Zach Tate brand needs some help. I'm not going to start asking for donations till February. But between now and then, the help I need is, if you have young people who are in marketing, I need to talk to them. They have a podcast, I need to talk to them. They know how to put up those great backgrounds and set scenes, I need to talk to them. I need individuals. It is my desire for 7 individuals to be part of the Great Zach Tate team for us to create a better presentation of me to reach more people, because I'm doing things the old way and it's time to do things the new way. And for me to do that, I got to reach back to the younger people. So if you know any content creators, you know any content marketers, you know anybody who know how to create funnels, who won't know how to operate schools or Kajabi, where I can teach lessons and people pay for it, that people who put together, anybody you know in the social media realm that could take this brand to the next level, so we can start generating some serious capital to start doing some serious work in our community. I need help. I'm Great Zach Tate, signing off. May the force be with you. Speak to your ancestors. Find your piece of heaven on earth. I'm outie like Kirk Gowdy.